South China Morning Post, 18th of February 2024, construction of a Chinese village in a disputed area surpasses China-Bhutan border negotiations. As part of its occupation strategy, China has constructed settlements in Bhutan, Nepal, and India to bolster its territorial claims. 18 Chinese citizens awaited the keys to their recently constructed dwellings in a remote Himalayan village within a long-contested border zone between China and Bhutan. Each individual was accompanied by a recently framed portrait of Xi Jinping, the size of which ensured that only their lower legs and heads were visible. A vibrant red banner featuring Chinese and Tibetan script awaited them behind them. The Tibet Federation of Industry and Commerce announced on WeChat that on December 28, they were the initial occupants to occupy the recently expanded Tamalung village. They were comprised of 38 households originating from the Tibetan city of Shigatse. China has constructed at least 3 villages within the contested area. Last year, local governments in the Tibet Autonomous Region spearheaded a swift proliferation of border villages, culminating in the doubling of Tamalung's population by the latter part of 2023. 147 new dwellings are depicted in satellite imagery captured 7 days before the residents move in by Maxar Technologies of the United States. According to local media reports, the village expansion was strategically planned to accommodate an additional 235 households, surpassing the 200 inhabitants residing in a mere 70 homes as of the conclusion of 2022. The villages were intended to improve living conditions as part of a state-led poverty alleviation initiative in China. Still, according to officials, they also served as citadels to bolster national security. According to its financing report on poverty alleviation, Tamalung, administered by Lashag County, reportedly spent an estimated 26 million yuan, approximately $3.6 million, on village infrastructure in 2023. The allocation financed the construction of 2 bridges, paved roads, and the reinforcement of a stream bank. According to satellite data, the building was finished in less than 6 months. Foreign Ministry of China, in a faxed response to the South China Morning Post, China stated that construction at the border would not impact border negotiations with Bhutan-occupied territory. The statement continued that the 2 parties are making progress toward continuing frontier negotiations. Although the capital of Bhutan, Thimphu, has thus far downplayed the controversy posed by these villages, India, Bhutan's closest ally, is closely monitoring developments in the approximately 495 square kilometer, 191 square miles, disputed border area. Another border village to the east of Tamalung, Geopolitical, experienced a 2-fold increase in the area during the previous year due to the demolition of an estimated 16 square kilometers, 6.2 square miles, to make way for over 150 dwellings. Satellite imagery depicts the newly constructed residences adjacent to a Communist Party community center featuring a compact library, additional amenities, and 4 rows of pre-existing dwellings. Chinese state media report that Geopolitical was founded in 2007 with only 2 dwellings and no running water or electricity. During 2016-18, it was transformed into a model village to alleviate poverty as part of Xi Jinping's Moderate Prosperity Initiative. The mouthpiece of the party. According to People's Daily, over 620 border moderate prosperity villages were completed by the conclusion of 2021, which coincides with Xi Jinping's deadline for the party's centenary objective of poverty alleviation in the nation. State media outlets and local authorities have characterized the dual purpose of the villages, providing contemporary accommodation and guarding the border, as emanating from the highest levels of the political party. In 2020, Lashag County Party Secretary Zhao Tianwu advised his officials that as an indication of the party leadership's particular concern, moderate prosperity villages in the border regions must be promoted. According to him, Xi's ideology regarding border governance and stabilizing Tibet was the foundation of the village's strategy. Xi addressed the national security significance of Tibet during his inaugural parliamentary session as party leader in 2013. Construction tender documents indicate that the Development and Reform Commission of Lashag County tendered most housing and road construction projects in the disputed border zone. A paved road spanning 22 kilometers, 14 miles, connected the 2 municipalities in the mountainous area. Along the route, dozens of additional dwellings were constructed, none corresponding to a village on the official inventory of administrative divisions maintained by the Chinese government. A number of the initiatives received financial support from aid funds for Tibet administered by state-owned enterprises and provincial administrations affiliated with the central government, including the China National Cereals, Oils, and Foodstuffs Corporation. The company invested 20 million yuan, approximately $2.7 million in Luoshag County's 2020 annual report to construct health facilities and border communities, while Hubei Province in central China contributed 28 million yuan, approximately $3.9 million. According to budget documents, Tibet authorities offered up to 12,800 yuan, $1,780 last year to incentivize residents of other regions to relocate to the border area. Additionally, the Shannon city government, which oversees Luoshag County, has declared its intention to implement a trial program for professional border residents to bolster the military's strength and accelerate deep cooperation between the military and civilians. According to state media, village leaders and immigration police have already begun patrolling the borders while carrying Chinese flags and spraying words and images on boulders and tree trunks, including the characters for China and the national flag. Luoshag County emphasized the importance of collaboration among the party, government, police, and civilians to fortify frontline patrols, secure the border, and ensure impassability for all in its 2023 annual report. Although Bhutan and China have not established formal diplomatic ties, they have been in boundary negotiations since 1984, where they have limited advancements in resolving certain territorial disputes. They agreed to refrain from unilaterally altering the status quo of the boundary in 1998. The resumption of negotiations by China following the pandemic facilitated the formation of a joint technical team to demarcate the border during the 13th expert group meeting held in Beijing last August, which officials from Bhutan and China attended. Furthermore, the foreign ministries of the two nations convened for their 25th round of official border discussions in October, marking a significant milestone 7 years after their previous meeting in 2016. Lotte Tschering, the prime minister at the time, told the Belgian newspaper La Libre in March of last year that the villages were not constructed on Bhutanese territory and that his government had chosen not to make a big deal about them. Tschering stated that the three-step roadmap that China and Bhutan had devised to resolve the dispute was nearing completion. It consisted of China and Bhutan marking the border on paper, visiting the demarcated area, and formally proclaiming the agreed-upon boundary. Tschering lost his seat in the January election, but according to research fellow Amit Ranjan, it is doubtful that his successor, Tschering Tobgay, will significantly alter Bhutan's stance. As a small nation, Bhutan will refrain from undertaking any actions that might jeopardize Indian interests. It is politically and economically very close to India, said Ranjan of the South Asian Studies Institute at the National University of Singapore. Bhutan relies on India for trade and investments, however, since 2007. Both nations agreed to a more autonomous Bhutanese voice in external affairs. New Delhi has not dictated Thimphu's foreign policy. Nevertheless, according to an editorial published in October by The Hindu, New Delhi has been extremely wary of the possibility of a border settlement and formal diplomatic relations between Beijing and Thimphu. Natasha Kaul, a Bhutan-focused international relations professor at the University of Westminster, observed that Bhutanese diplomacy has historically exhibited qualities of tact, perseverance, and consideration for the concerns of neighboring nations. She added that it is also crucial to respect the Bhutanese position on their own interests. International media should avoid pontificating on Bhutan's behalf. Although land swaps could not be entirely ruled out in negotiations, specifics regarding the border dispute were challenging to speculate on, according to Kaul. The conflict resolution was existentially important to Bhutan due to the deep-seated rivalry between India and China. The Foreign Ministry of Bhutan declined to comment in response to a request. However, despite the ongoing border negotiations, Luoshag County has already disclosed its intentions in its 2023 annual report to augment the township status of Gyalphug and Tamalung villages.